right, good morning. So today we're doing a what I eat in a day video, and well, of course I don't eat the exact same thing every single day, but these are some of my favorite meals, and I especially love doing these just to, give you some inspiration, but also show you that plant-based / vegan, it doesn't have to be this super complicated, overwhelming thing. So that's the main reason. And we're gonna start with my personal favorite meal of the day, which is breakfast. So super excited to head into the kitchen and make that. And before we get going, if you're excited to get into this with me, give this video a like and also subscribe just to make sure you stay updated on more gut health goodness. So with that said, let's head on over to the kitchen. All right, so this I actually prepped last night. So 1 deciliter of rolled oats, 1 tablespoon of chia seeds, and then I usually just add plant-based milk until it's fully covered. If it's too dry the next morning, then you can always just add a little bit more in that case. And then just give it a good stir and then in the fridge. So now we're back here today. So I'm gonna add 1 tablespoon of raw cacao powder. I'm gonna add some lion's mane. I'll talk a bit more about that in just a bit. I'm gonna add 1 milliliter, so that small spoon. And then I'm just gonna give this a stir. And then I always love eating from this cup. I mean, just take your time and a heart doesn't get better. So I'm just gonna transfer everything into this. And then I have a couple of toppings that I'm gonna add on top. So I have raspberries. It's one of my favorites to add. It gives a really nice kind of sweet tangy touch. I'm gonna add some almond butter for healthy fats. And there you go, overnight oats with raw cacao powder, lion's mane, raspberries, and almond butter. I wanted to just talk about some of the things in here. This is really such a nutrient bomb, and especially maybe I'll start with the lion's mane that I put in. So lion's mane, if you're new to that, so it's a medicinal mushroom. So when I say mushroom, it doesn't taste like mushroom, so don't worry, but it's an adaptogen. And so basically what an adaptogen does is that it helps to protect against different stressors. So emotional, physical, whatever it might be. I mean, we're exposed to stressors a lot these days. And it actually just helps to create balance in your body. And adaptogens, so it actually adapts to your body, so it's almost like it finds its way and creates the kind of harmony that that you need in your body. And lion's mane is especially known for decreasing inflammation. It's very high in antioxidants and also stimulates your immune system. And if we're talking gut health, it can also help with digestion, and it's also been shown to decrease the risk of getting stomach ulcers. So it's just this super powerful thing. So I really love adding some lion's mane. You can also add lion's mane to your coffee as well. And then we have the raw cacao powder that I added, which is one of my favorite things. I use it pretty much every day. I love the flavor, and raw cacao is super high in antioxidants. It's also one of the best plant-based sources for iron and magnesium. And it's also a great source for calcium. It actually has more calcium than cow's milk. So if anyone is still telling you to drink milk to get calcium, that is total BS. And then almonds packed with so much goodness, especially biotin for healthy skin. And then there's just a lot of fiber, omega-3, vitamins, minerals. I mean, there is just all this goodness in here. So this is also why this is one of my favorite breakfasts to make as well. All right, I'm gonna continue to focus on finishing this and eating this, and then I'm gonna get some work. I have a couple of client calls today, a couple of coaching calls, so I will see you at lunchtime. All right, so we're back in the kitchen and we're gonna make some lunch. So we're gonna make one of my absolute favorites. I feel like I say that all the time, but this really is one of my favorites. So we're gonna make a vegan curry, and this is a really warming, comforting meal. So especially if you feel like you need to be a bit more grounded, like maybe you're feeling a bit stressed or worried at the moment or anxious, then this is a really, really nice meal for that. I'm gonna serve it with rice, some broccoli, and fresh herbs. So let's get started. All right, I'm gonna start by putting the oven to 180 Celsius, which is about 360 Fahrenheit. Then we have the broccoli. I've just taken everything, so the florets and also the stem of the broccoli, put it in a bowl, and then I'm just gonna add a little bit of olive oil. And some salt, and also some black pepper. And then I'm just gonna give this a good stir so that everything is more or less fully covered. And then I'm just gonna transfer it to a baking tray. And in it goes to the oven. And I'm gonna leave it there for like 20-25 minutes. It's always good to check in on the broccoli one. And I've brought water to a boil. I'm gonna make about 4 portions of rice because it's about 4 portions of the curry. And yeah, then I'm just gonna let this boil according to the package. Then I'm gonna chop up half an onion. And I'm gonna heat up a pan with some olive oil, like medium heat. And once hot, we're just gonna add the onion and some salt. And then we're just gonna let this fry for like 5-10 minutes until it's soft. So meanwhile, I'm just gonna prep one chili. I don't like it super spicy, so I'm gonna take out most of the seeds. So this is just something that you can choose, however spicy you want it. And then I also have 2 garlic cloves that I'm gonna crush, and then I'm just gonna add everything into the pan. And then to the spices, I have 1 tablespoon of curry, half a tablespoon of ginger, half a tablespoon of sweet paprika, a little bit of cinnamon, and then I've added some black pepper as well. And I'm gonna add a little bit of water just to not make it too dry and just to kind of create like a paste and give it a good stir. And then this is gonna cook for like 5-10 minutes as well. I'm just gonna integrate the flavors. And 1 tablespoon of tomato paste, 1 tablespoon of white miso paste, and another stir. And I'm also just gonna check in on the broccoli, just give that a bit of a stir so it cooks evenly. And I'm adding some tomatoes. You can add whatever veggies you want. I have a bunch of tomatoes, I'm adding that. 1 can of chickpeas. And I'm also adding some tamari. I love tamari, it gives a really nice umami kind of flavor. And then we're just gonna give this a stir. I'm adding 1 can of coconut milk. I use full fat to make it creamy and nice. 1 can of crushed tomatoes. And I'm also adding 1 teaspoon of coconut sugar. This is optional, but it takes away some of that acidic taste from the tomatoes. So it just makes it a little bit sweeter. And as a final touch, I'm gonna add in some lime juice just to make it a little bit more like fresh. And just give it a stir and just let it cook for a few minutes. And just taste it, just to see if you want to add any more spices to it before serving. All right, rice is ready. Just gonna let it rest for a couple of minutes. And I'm also gonna take out the broccoli, which looks amazing. And then just serve with some fresh basil or any other herbs that you like. All right, so I'm gonna go out and enjoy this in the sun because we're having good weather today. But I wanted to just mention something. So for gut health, you don't need to go 100% vegan. Or plant-based. I use plant-based and vegan interchangeably, but it's the same. So you don't need to go 100% plant-based, but you do want to eat plant-based for gut health. So it's actually really important. And I'm gonna share another video, I think up here and also in the description, where I dive more into that to explain why. I'm 100% plant-based. It works wonders for me. I feel the most healthy and best that way. It's what has been working best for me, and also for my clients. Like a lot of my clients are working towards getting 100% plant-based because they feel their gut health is best that way. They feel more energized, light, free, and vibrant in their bodies. But I just want to say that it's not the only way, but it is one way that I know that is working. So, with that said, I'll see you later, most likely for a little snack break, and otherwise for dinner. All right, so we're making one of my favorite snacks. So we have dates, peanut butter, and I have some dark chocolate. And basically what we're gonna do, so I'm gonna take some peanut butter. You can use any kind of nut butter you want. And then I'm just gonna put it into the pitted date. And as a final touch, the dark chocolate. All right, so if you haven't tried this before, I don't know if you can actually see it, but I don't know how to explain it. But if I were to describe or define foodgasm, this would be it, like no doubt. Yeah. I don't even know what to say right now. And if we haven't met before, my name is Anna. I'm a holistic gut health coach, basically empowering you to heal your gut and just take back control of your health. So if you're interested in learning more about that, I'd love to invite you to book your free gut health clarity call with me, where we start to create a customized plan for you. So I'm gonna leave a link in the description below where you can just book your call, and I hope to chat with you soon. With that said, I'm gonna finish up some work and then I'll see you back here in the kitchen for dinner. All right, so I'm gonna head back into the kitchen and we're gonna make some dinner. I usually have dinner quite early, so now it's around 5 p.m. Like living in Portugal before, it was more like around 7, 8, sometimes 9. So at least I feel that 5 p.m. is quite early. But I really like that. And now it's also good and it's still light outside, so you can actually see something in the kitchen. So really excited to dive into this. It's a super easy recipe to make. We're gonna make a pea pesto packed with basil, fresh basil, and walnuts, other goodness, and I'm just gonna make some pasta. I have a bunch of tomatoes, so I'm probably gonna add some of that too, but we'll dive into the recipe. All right, just wanted to show you exactly what goes into this pesto. So I have peas that I actually defrosted this morning. This is, I think, it's about 1 cup, which is like 2.5 deciliters. I think this is probably gonna make maybe 2 portions, so I have something for tomorrow as well. Lemon juice, walnuts, fresh basil. Yeah, walnuts, I already told you that. I have nutritional yeast. This is just to make it a little bit more of a cheesy flavor. It's really, if you haven't tried it, I can definitely recommend. I love it. I'm gonna put in, so another adaptogen, Tulsi. I'll talk about that a little bit more in just a minute. And just salt, this is not salt, salt and pepper. And I'm using this pasta today. I think, yeah, it's a mix between lentils and spelt, I think. Some kind of pasta. So yeah, just use your pasta of choice. I always, avoid using just white pasta. Use whole wheat, lentil. I mean, there's so many amazing options. There are also like chickpea pasta. So yeah, try something else than just white pasta, also to take care of your gut health. And I'm just gonna put some tomatoes on top as well. So I've actually started to prepare the pasta water. So I'm just gonna bring that to a boil, and I'm actually gonna use later on some of the pasta water into the pesto. It's actually gonna make it a little bit more like creamy almost. Oh, almost forgot, I just saw this now. Putting a little bit of garlic in as well. So we're gonna get started with this in just a minute. All right, so I just quickly wanted to talk about the the Tulsi that I also added into the pesto. So this is also known as holy basil. It's also an adaptogen that I mentioned before. This one is well known for a lot of different things, but I wanted to mention when it comes to gut health that it's been shown to protect against stomach ulcers and just gut inflammation in general, good for digestion, but also it can help to balance hormones and also reduce brain fog or mental fog. These are just a few things. So, and I'll leave links below as well where you can just check out and read more about this too, but I thought I'll just mention that as well, what I'm adding in. All right, I'm just gonna start by prepping the pasta. Just do it according to the package, whichever pasta you use. And then for the pesto, I'm gonna add the peas. I'm adding everything into a blender. And then about 2 handfuls of fresh basil, 2 handfuls of walnuts, 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast, 1 teaspoon of Tulsi, holy basil, and lemon juice from half a lemon, 1 garlic clove, salt, pepper, and then some of the pasta water. Just start with a little, and then you can just add more if needed, depending on the consistency you want. Then we're just gonna blend this. And then I'm just gonna mix it with the drained pasta. And once ready, I'm just gonna serve it with the cherry tomato, some extra basil leaves, and salt and pepper. Alright, so if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like and also subscribe to stay updated on whenever I post a new delicious, yummy gut health goodness video. And also let me know in the comments which one of these recipes that you are more curious to try out. I'd love to know. So thanks for being here, and I'll see you next time.